Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be installing some sliders on the old 80 series here. So as you can see, I've already got them all finished on both sides. This is the driver's side, obviously. So we've designed them with a nice little kick out right here, and it's fully gusseted. We're going to go into detail step by step on what you need in order to get these on your 95 through 97 and on your 91 through 94. The difference being that you have your dual cats side by side on the earlier models, and you have your two inline cats on this model here. What you're going to need is going to be a hole saw. So this is 125 wall DOM 1 3/4 tubing. You're going to need 6 70-inch sections of this. I ended up with just this one piece, maybe a little bit more than this left. You're also going to need 6 3/8 inch 4x4, which I'll show you later, mounting plates for the chassis to the rails. Without further ado, let's get right into it. This is the first initial kicker for the rear part of the slider. I've just kind of marked 1/2 inch so that when I'm doing my bends, I'm doing in 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch segments so that it doesn't kink. For sake of trying to do it in sections, that's how I did it. I mean, just make a little mark, do about 5 pumps with the ram, and then move up. I've already finished the slider for the driver's side. I've got it all welded together, and now I'm mocking up the under part where it's going to mount. The 80 series is unique because the frame makes an S-curve. I've already done the mounting plates on the frame. Okay, and then I just wanted to go over again how I have my tube notcher, my Harbor Freight tube notcher set up. This isn't the best way to do it. The drill press that I had wasn't tall enough to fit it like this, up and down. So I just drilled a couple of holes in this piece of wood and have it on just like a steel bench. Might not come through on the camera, but I have it at about a 20-degree angle upwards. So I'll do one at a time and just tack them into place, and that'll allow me to take the whole thing off, make sure everything's right as far as the angles go, and then prime and paint it, and then I'll come back, put it back on the stand, and then weld it to the actual frame and make my gussets. Okay, so I've tacked those 3 mounting rails onto the slider itself, prime and paint it, and then I'll be ready to weld it to the frame. Did some self-etching primer and bed liner. All right, guys, this is it. It is fully welded up. All the frame supports are welded to the runners, which go out to the sliders. And, you know, it's not pretty, and I knew it wasn't going to be, but I'm not really worried about it. It's on, and the fitment looks actually really good. There's plenty of room. What I did is the pinch welds underneath each runner, I just kind of bent in. You can't really see from that angle. I kind of just bent them in, and I'll bend them in a little bit more, just so there's no rattling. Okay, so we're on to the second slider now. We finished that one up yesterday. This is one of the 70-inch pieces of DOM that you're going to need, tubing, and I have it ready in my ram here. And you take your just a little magnetic level, which you can see I'm level there, and then I've marked with a paint marker 1/2 inch increments, just like the last one. So I'm going to get started bending as close to this end, which is going to be the very beginning of the slider, like right here, and then slowly make my 45s. So one here and then one further down here. All right, so again, just like last time, I was able to get both of these lined up really well. All right, so second slider is done. Now comes the fun part, which is finding out where we're going to mount these because of these two guys. These two mounts in the back are going to be pretty easy, but I'm going to have to go up under here and look for a mount probably right where that cross member is, and then figure out some way to angle down or bend some tubing to come under this little exhaust flange between the two, and then obviously come up here out to the slider. So all of the mounting plates that I'm using are 3/8 inch by 4 inch by 4 inch. So 4 inch squares by 3/8 inch. All right, guys, so all the mounting plates are in. These are where I chose to go. First one is back here by this body mount right under the whatever you call that, the lower control arm. The next one I did right next to it. I would have gone here It was just a little too thin, and I want to keep that 4-inch square mounting plate. So these are relatively close to each other. You could question that structural integrity, but we'll see. I'm about to go out on the trail and use these pretty soon, so we'll see how it holds up. This one is the one that, you know, most people are, you know, is the one that's in question, because you have to find a way around these cats. This is the lowest point here that I can get either tubing or some just some square tubing in. I'm gonna bend a piece of tubing to come out here underneath this exhaust flange, which technically is still going to leave these two cats exposed. I have never hit them. I'm sure I will come to a point where that might happen. I might end up fabricating something to go beneath, you know, to come off this runner here to the slider and to protect those. But to be honest, I'm not greatly worried about it. The biggest issue would be is if it bends that and then ends up going up through that Y into the extractors or the exhaust manifold and then bending something on the head. That would be the main concern. But I'll cross that bridge when I get there. So this is the piece of tubing that I ended up bending and cutting for this the cat section. Okay, so there's the mounting plate. So it's gonna go like that. It's not lining up here now, but once I grind, I don't know what that is, what, 20 degrees? Something like that, whatever. So whatever angle that is here, 20 degrees or whatever. And then also, since the frame is going to go like this, like an S, it needs to be 20 degrees this way. So I'll have another 20 from the top center line, which I'll make here, going like this. So then it'll mount flush and I won't have to do too much, you know, sitting there trying to fill weld in. All right, so the runners for the driver or passenger side are on now, but everything's welded together and just doing primer and paint now. All right, so they are both on now. There's that runner going between the cats. Don't get on me about my welding job, guys. I know I'm not professional. So there's the finished products. The thing about these obviously is that you're not going to have access to your exhaust system as easily as something that would be bolt on, bolt off. I really enjoyed putting these on and fabricating them. It's definitely the first project like this I've ever done, aside from the rear bumper, which was a kit. And I'll be reviewing that shortly as well. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.